And some VIP help from the White House for Iowa Congressman Zach Nunn. First, it was President Donald Trump back in January who came to the Des Moines Metro for a rally with Nunn. And now this week, it is Vice President J.D. Vance for another rally in the Des Moines Metro. Vance's rally took place at a manufacturing company in Des Moines, and he talked about the administration's priority of promoting U.S. manufacturing. When he laid out what he considers the accomplishments of the administration, he several times tied Nunn with President Trump.
When you send somebody to Congress, you're never, ever going to agree with every single thing that they do, but you deserve to know that when they're in the halls of power, and especially when the cameras are off, they're thinking about you, about your families, and about your future. And a guy that you have serving this district, Congressman Nunn, is one of those guys who does the right thing, not just when the cameras are on, but when the cameras are off too. But the fundamental question for us in this election is actually not any specific question of public policy. It's not any particular issue. It's fundamentally, do you want people in Washington, D.C. who fight for you, who fight for the people of this district, or who fight for corruption and fraud? Because I'm 41 years old, and for the first time in my entire life, I think we have seen a major political party in the United States of America completely go off the rails. They're not just talking about different views on taxes or on regulation or on the Clean Water Act, as important as all of those things are. They're talking about who does the government actually stand and fight for. When the President of the United States asked the entire Congress to stand for the simple principle that the people's government ought fight for the American people first, what did we see? We saw every single congressional Democrat sit on their hands. They didn't care about you. They didn't care about the people of this district. They didn't care about the farmers or the factory workers or the people who actually make this country run. Because now we have in Washington, D.C., a Democrat Party that is so focused on illegal immigration, that is so focused on people who don't have the legal right to be here, that is so focused on fraud because so many of their friends get rich from fraud that they forgot to look after you. And whatever your political views, whether you're a sensible Republican, independent, or even a sensible Democrat, because I know we got a lot of those in Iowa, not in Washington, D.C. I think that you deserve to have a President of the United States and a congressman like Zach Nunn who fights for you every single day, and that's what he's been doing. And for my entire life, we had presidents and politicians of both parties who didn't do a single thing to stop it and said, oh, by the way, absolutely, bring those cheap goods into our country. Bring those things that were built by hands of slaves rather than the hands of our own workers. And of course, we knew that when they drove those factories out of business, then they'd come in and jack up the price right after. So what happened for 41 years? We all know the story. The factories closed down. My hometown, this is the story of my hometown where I grew up in a community that was proud, where people built things, where new homes were being made. And by the time I graduated from high school, the manufacturers were laying people off. Those big, beautiful factories were shuttering their doors. And we never had a political movement that said, enough is enough, until Donald J. Trump and Zach Nunn came along. If you're working every single day right here in Iowa, you deserve a tax cut, and that's exactly what we delivered with Congressman Nunn.
Clearly, with this visit, the Trump administration is prioritizing the importance of keeping Iowa's 3rd congressional district, a very politically purple district, in Republican hands to try to help Nunn win this seat for the 3rd time. Perhaps as we look at this right now, this visit shows the importance of trying to engage with the MAGA base to make sure MAGA followers will show up and vote Republican, support Nunn in this case, at a time that Trump will not be on the ballot in the November election. As we look forward, one thing to watch, will be the popularity or perhaps unpopularity of both the president and vice president. If you look at polls right now, you can find polls that show both Trump and Vance are not popular. If that continues, let's see if they will still come here to try to support none, as he has to try to find a way to win this very competitive district. And if it turns out that independents are not very enthused about the president or vice president, and Democrats aren't either, Nunn may have to try to think of some other ways to try to build support for himself without relying on the president or vice president coming here to directly talk to people. Pretty early to start thinking about this, but something to watch from now until the next 5 or 6 months. That is a look inside Iowa politics.